Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Boxing needs Canelo Alvarez desperately, and let's break it down with nothing but facts. At only 28 years old, Canelo Alvarez was already a certified, legitimate Hall of Famer. He was a multi-division world champion. He fought multiple elite fighters. And, even at the age of 23, we're in an era where everyone's scared to risk their everyone's scared to fight the best. Canelo Alvarez stepped up and fought an elite, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world in Floyd Mayweather. You got to give this guy all the credit in the world. Canelo Alvarez has shown that he's fearless and not afraid to step in with anybody or any style. Let's be real about it. And the reason why Canelo Alvarez has no fight date right now is because he refused to cherry pick for DAZN. That's right, DAZN wanted him to cherry pick. They preferred premium opponents. Who were their premium opponents? Oscar De La Hoya at 47 years old, who hasn't fought since 2008. Jorge Masvidal or Khabib, guys that Canelo Alvarez would all knock out in the first 3 rounds, instead of undefeated world champions in their prime like Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders. We got to be real about this situation. And what kind of fights have DAZN been putting on since Canelo Alvarez has been out? What kind of fights? Okay, these are the fights. They're looking to put on a fight like Devin Haney versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. That's hard garbage. They're trying to put on Danny Jacobs versus Gabe Rosado. That's garbage truck juice. And you see Demetrius Andre versus Dusty Hernandez Harrison. That's extra garbage on wheat. We got to be real about it. And then the premier boxing champions are no better. They're doing the same trash. They're looking at a guy like Gervonta Stank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. That's a glorified cherry pick. If we're being honest, you're pulling up a natural 126-pound fighter and you're moving down in weight, and somehow 130 and 135-pound titles are both on the line. That makes no sense. And then you also see that, Jamal Charlo versus Sergey Deverenchenko. You're facing a Sergey Deverenchenko off a loss in a war. Yeah, it was the best fight of his career. That shows you how garbage his career is. This guy's not a star, and he's not out here facing an undefeated world champion in his prime. No, he's facing a Deverenchenko who's slightly past his prime, coming off a loss in a war. We got to be real about it. That's why he only sold 100,000 pay-per-view buys. This guy is not a star. We got to be real about it. Spence versus Danny Garcia. When you look at that fight, you see, okay, a lot of people are intrigued by the fight only because Errol Spence Jr. wanted to get drunk and wreck his car. But we're talking about Errol Spence Jr. who cherry-picked Danny Garcia, who wasn't a champion before he got into a car accident. That was a fight nobody wanted to see. That was a fight nobody asked for. Everybody wanted Spence versus Crawford, and he ducked Crawford to take on Danny Garcia. And now that he got into a car accident, now it's a good fight. See, this is what we're talking about. Guys simply didn't want to be great. And then you look at Top Rank and you see Tyson Too Fast Fury. When you look at Tyson Fury, you look at him like this. He's looking to cherry pick a bum. The local gardener, another Uber driver. This is garbage truck juice. And then you also see Terrence Bud Crawford, who I have a lot of admiration and respect for, but at the same time, he's not going to get a pass. You're sitting up here facing a washed out Kell Brook who hasn't fought in a welterweight division in over 3 years. This guy's not even a welterweight anymore. We got to be real about it. Look, there are a few good fights out there, but the vast majority are cherry picks, mismatches, or fights no one asked for. Canelo Alvarez is literally the only fighter going after 2 opponents who are undefeated world champions in their prime. It's not too early, it's not too late. These guys are in their prime, who are in a weight class that's higher than what he normally fights at, giving up height and reach advantage to literally every champion in the division. And that's where Canelo Alvarez is campaigning. Boxing needs Canelo Alvarez drastically.